Hello, I'm Simon Whistler. You're watching the Today I Found Out YouTube channel, and in the video today we're looking at the controversial story of the last remaining soldier of the Civil War. Let's get started.
The Last Man Standing. The American Civil War ended almost a century and a half ago, April 9, 1865, with the surrender of the Confederate forces at the Appomattox Courthouse in Northern Virginia. About 54 years ago, in December 1959, the last reported surviving veteran of the Civil War, Walter Washington Williams, passed away in Houston, Texas, at the reported age of 117. President Dwight Eisenhower declared it a national day of mourning and gave him an honorary rank. Congress recognized his passing on the floor. Reporters, writers, and well-wishers all came to Houston to pay respects to the man who was America's last direct living link to the war that divided the United States for a time. Of course, this all may have been a lie. According to the official history, Walter Williams was born in 1842 in Itawamba County, Mississippi, and served under General John Bell Hood beginning in 1864. He was a forge master, meaning he was in charge of finding food and figuring out how to go about transporting it. After the war, in 1870, he moved to Texas, where he settled on a 20-acre farm in Eaton, East Texas, about 100 miles away from Austin. That's where he remained, mostly unknown until the late 1940s, immediately following World War II, when reporters and historians began to seek out these last remaining survivors of the Civil War. Williams became a local celebrity. He was invited to fancy dinners, given special awards, and called by honorary titles like Trooper Williams, Honorary Colonel, and even Five-Star General Walter Washington Williams. When interviewed by the Dallas Morning News about how he managed to live to such an old age, Walter responded, "I never ate much. I get up for breakfast, turn around for dinner, and go to bed for supper. When I was riding up the Chisholm Trail, the range cook sort of held it against me because I was a light-eating man. I've always drunk lots of coffee, chewed plenty of tobacco, and haven't tried to avoid any of this good Texas weather." On September 4th, 1959, months before Williams's death, and as his hometown of Houston geared up for Mr. Williams's 117th birthday party, a reporter for the Scripps Howard by the name of Lau Bridwell wrote a damaging exposé potentially debunking the Walter Washington Williams myth. In it, he called Williams an enfeebled old man who was a Confederate veteran only in his memory-clouded mind. Bidwell had done some digging and found not a single scrap of evidence that Williams even served in the military, much less being the very old age of 117, like he claimed. According to the 1860 census, Williams was listed as 5 years old, meaning that he was born in 1854 and would have only been 9 years old in 1864, seemingly too young to have fought in the Civil War. Moreover, according to Bridwell's reporting, the National Archives does not list a Walter W., a Walter G., or even a Walter L. Williams from Texas or Mississippi as ever having served in the Confederate Army. Newspapers across the country picked up on the Bridwell story and began printing their own stories with headlines like this one from the Daytona Beach Journal: "Walter Williams, last Civil War veteran, or hazy memory." Defenders of Walter claimed that records from the time had a reputation for being spotty. During the last year of the war, with the Confederate Army losing and in sad shape, they didn't keep particularly meticulous records of who was serving within their ranks, and even the records that did exist often had errors such as incorrect birth dates. In addition, an archive in Jackson, Mississippi lists a Walter W. Williams as a private in Company O, 5th Mississippi Cavalry. Despite the controversy, when Walter Williams Washington passed away in December 1959, he was hailed across the nation as the last surviving veteran of the Civil War. He was laid to rest at Mount Pleasant Church Cemetery in Robertson County near Eaton, Texas. His grave is now marked by an interpretive sign placed there by the Texas Civil War Centennial Commission in 1963. On the sign it reads, "Reputed to have been the last surviving soldier of the Civil War, he had lived very quietly until in extreme old age had gained fame as one of the very few remaining veterans. After the nation lost all other men who had fought in the Civil War, he was given the honorary rank of general by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. When General Williams died in Houston at home of a daughter, President Eisenhower proclaimed a period of national mourning." So was Williams really the last? It's somewhat unclear, though most historians today think probably not for the aforementioned reasons. If he wasn't the last, that honor goes to Albert Wilson, who passed away 3 years before Williams in 1956 and is considered within the academic community to be the last authenticated survivor of the Civil War. Wilson was a Union drummer boy from Minnesota who enlisted in 1864 after his father passed away from a severe leg wound while also fighting for the Union. Bonus facts. Lowell Bridwell, the reporter for the Scripps Howard who wrote the expose on Walter Washington Williams, had a very interesting career. While he was a reporter, he drew the ire of J. Edgar Hoover, who suspected him of being a communist. Bridwell's brother worked for the FBI at the time and was given the assignment to spy on his brother. When he refused, he was forced to quit the FBI. Lowell went on to work for the Department of Commerce and then in the Department of Transportation during the Kennedy administration. He eventually rose through the ranks and became the director of the Federal Highway Commission during the Johnson administration, directing during a time of immense highway growth in the United States. Bonus fact 2. Walter Williams was married twice, and the second time for over 65 years. Because of this, he had a very large family, rumored to have over 200 descendants when he died. Bonus fact 3. General John Bell Hood, the man Williams reportedly served under, was known as a very aggressive and reckless general. Some historians think his massive frontal assault at the Battle of Franklin was such a big disaster for the Confederate Army that it lost the war for them. During the Battle of Gettysburg, Hood, not yet a general, was so severely wounded that his left arm became useless for the rest of his life. So I really hope you liked that video, and if you did like it, click like below and leave us a comment to let us know what you think. And also check out a couple of our other videos, which are linked to on the screen now, and don't forget to subscribe for brand new videos every day. Thanks for watching.